Okay, evening folks. Wasn't expecting to make this video tonight, but one of the drawbacks of living in a small hilltop Italian village is frequent power cuts. It is currently 31st of December, or Hogmanay if you live in Scotland, and in probably less than 2 hours time it will be 2026. Meanwhile, I'm here. The whole village is off, it's in complete darkness, and it's been off for about probably 20 minutes now. So no Wi-Fi, no internet, no TV, no lights, and the heating goes off at 10 o'clock anyway, so it's going to start getting a bit cooler over the next couple of hours. Now I was going to stay up for the bells to see in the new year as a traditional Scot, but I think I'll just be heading off to my bed. So have a good new year when it comes, and I'll see you in 2026. So that's the last job done before I head home, which is lifting this floor in the sitting room. I've left these tiles here, and my plan is to then go for something that's a contrast in the rest of the room. I've got all the furniture kind of set over here at the moment. So this is where I've kind of been living of an evening the last couple of nights. I moved everything back, and it's fine. You know, I've got a TV. Everything's covered in dust at the moment, but I've got I've got the settee here. Got a TV on the unit. Look at that dust. Not dust. I'll give everything a clean before I go. But no, the decision I haven't quite made yet is every floor in the house is tiled, and I can see the benefits in tiled floors, particularly when it's hot in the summer and the floors are a bit cooler. But I think part of the problem was that the tiles are quite dark, and this is quite a big window, and it's south facing, and I think what's happened is the tiles have absorbed the heat from the sunlight, and that's what's lifted them. Because when I went to lift them, you can see, and I'll actually show you, because this is a bit that lifted. I'll show you this here. Now that's actually, the red bits there, that's where the tiles had a grip of the adhesive. So originally it's been well bonded. Tiles are a bit brittle, to be fair, but biscuity, you know, they're easy broken. But it definitely lifted here, and I think what's happened is the sun comes round this side during the day, and because they're a dark tile, they absorb the heat and the energy, and I think they've just expanded just that little bit, and there's no give because it was tiled right up to the edges. So there's no room for expansion, and it's a big floor with no expansion joints in it. So I've got to decide if I tile it, and if I do tile it, I certainly won't get these tiles anymore. I've kept some as spares in case any of these get damaged, but this part of the floor is actually in good condition. So I might go for something that's a complete contrast to those tiles, that's still in keeping with the room. The other option I've got is putting down laminate flooring. Laminate flooring's not as popular as it is back in the UK, but you can get laminate flooring here. And it might just be a bit warmer underfoot, because that's the one thing I would say is, during the winter, you really have to have something on your feet because the floors are really cold. Apart from if you stand in the bits where there's heating pipes under the floor, you can feel the heat. I can work out where all the pipes run to all the radiators, just be walking around in bare feet. But the rest of the floor's cold, so I have to wear slippers of an evening. So no, I haven't made my mind up yet. It's about 20 square metres that I need to do. I can do it laminate, I can do it tile. It's just me making a decision. The hardest thing I've got to decide though is in the transition, because these are quite thin tiles, they're only about 8mm. So whatever tile I get really needs to be about 8mm as well. And that's quite a thin tile. It's quite a fragile tile as well if you drop something on it. So I have to bear that in mind, and then how do I transition it? Do I put an expansion joint in with a join-in strip? What would that look like? Would it become a hazard? Would it become something that can get damaged? So there's a lot of things I've got to think about before I come back to do this in March. The first thing I'm going to have to do though is put a levelling compound over it, just to kind of sweeten it all out, because obviously you can see where the tiles have been. And there's obviously that needs levelled out. So there's a bit of prep to be done to the floor before I do anything with it, whether it's laminate or whether it's tiles. But all should be good. I'm really pleased with what I've got done when I've been here. I've got all the garden sorted out, got that all cut back. I got the front door stripped back and revarnished. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'm probably going to put some clear coat varnish on it now, because the problem is every time I give it a coat, it gets darker, because it's a stained varnish that I've got. So I think when I come over, I'll bring some just clear coat varnish and build up another couple of layers, but without it getting any darker. I've done the garage windows, and done the window downstairs, and I've done the back door to the downstairs. So I've got that all done. I've obviously done my lights in the garage. What else have I done? Oh, and I cleared the attic. And I also fitted the Skylink dish, or whatever it's called. So I've now got good quality sort of broadband in the house. So all in all, I'm quite pleased with what I've got done. I did want to get the garage doors painted, but I've just run out of time. And it's been quite windy. I got the front gate painted, but I had a look at the garage doors, but they need a lot of prep, and I don't want to rush it. And it might be a nicer job when the weather's a bit nicer. Because like I say, it's been windy the last couple of days, and it's quite cloudy and sort of overcast today. But yeah, so like I say, this was the last job I had to do. It's midday on Saturday, and I've just got to go and empty all the bins, clear everything away. I think I've just got enough food in the fridge to keep me today. But I'll probably head into town later to get stuff for the trip and the drive up the road. It saves me stopping at services and whatnot. So I'll probably just buy some things to nibble. But apart from that, it's been a productive 2 weeks. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm bringing back the mirror. You probably haven't noticed this before, but the wardrobe in the bedroom, one of the mirrors on one of the doors was broken. You'll see it here. So where the big pine bit is, that's the missing piece of glass. So there was a piece of glass the same as this on that side, but it was broken down the bottom and it had been glued on and it just looked unsightly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that back with me and basically go into McCready's in Dunfermline and get them to make me up another piece of glass that I'll bring back with me the next time I come down. So no, all in all, quite pleased with my 2 weeks that I've been here. As I said, I'm driving home. It'll take me 3 days to get home. I've got to drive. I'm going to leave really early tomorrow morning, probably about 6 o'clock. Get up, have some breakfast, leave about 6. And then the plan is to then drive. I've got about a 10.5 hour drive, excluding breaks, up to Switzerland. My only worry at the moment is the weather in Switzerland is quite snowy at the moment. I've got my chains for the wheels, just in case. But no, I've got an overnight, a beautiful lodge in the hills in Switzerland, and I want to get there. Part of the reason we're leaving really early is I get there when it's still daylight, because when I drove through Switzerland last time, I didn't actually see any of Switzerland because I drove through it in the dark. So I didn't really benefit from, the views or anything like that. So I want to get there when it's still light. At the moment it's getting dark about sort of 5 o'clock here. So if I can get there sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll kind of be happy. But it means I've got to be away really early in the morning. So Switzerland overnight, and then Monday, I drive from Switzerland up to Rotterdam to the Hook of Holland to catch the overnight ferry. I'll be on the ferry overnight over to Harwich, and then Tuesday I'll be driving from Harwich back up to the house. I should get home about sort of tea time on Tuesday. I've then got a day off to recover. I need to go and get a haircut on Wednesday. I've also got a trip to the tip. Now, the issue I have is because it's so difficult to get rid of rubbish here, all the old mattresses and sort of bed sheets and everything that were in the garage downstairs, they're fairly light, so I've just thrown them all in the van, and I'm booked into the recycling centre on Wednesday morning. So I'll dump all that there when I get home, and then that's me back at the house. So, as I say, been an eventful trip. I'm glad I came. It was weird being away for Christmas, New Year, and I appreciate, Emily and Jack have had to, have a Christmas, New Year on their own as well. All in all, there's pluses and minuses of it. But time to get back to bonnie Scotland, and here's to the next trip.